to the Talkbox. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, you're listening to the Talkbox son. You're listening to the Talkbox. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
All right, good morning, you guys. Rise and shine. It's Marvelous Monday on today, and we got a great show for you. You got a chance and a choice this morning. I got my beloved on, Mr. Thomas James. We call him Mr. State Board. And I just want to let you know a little bit about Thomas this morning. He's an Air Force intelligence veteran who became a dual licensed instructor in both cosmetology and barbering. And of course, he is the renowned author of Mr. State Board. He is a renowned speaker, motivational speaker, and teacher in the cosmetology and barber world. Welcome this morning. Welcome, Mr. James. How are you?
I'm doing good. Sonia. How are you doing?
I am blessed by the best. I cannot complain. I'm very excited to have you on today. And when I looked at your logo thing, and it said you have a chance and a choice.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
Well, every day for those of us that are blessed to actually get up every day, we have two options. You're always given a chance to do better or worse than yesterday, and then that's also the choice whether or not you decide to do better, or worse. So every day you have a chance and a choice.
I like that. Every day on the Talkbox Show, we always say every day above ground is a good day. It's another day that gives us an opportunity to do better than yesterday, or to get some things right that we didn't have quite right on yesterday. So that is so true. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so as you said, and thank you for reading my bio, I'm of course a veteran. I was an intelligence analyst when I was in. I have a college degree from Austin Peay State University in political science. I'm also a licensed master barber instructor as well as cosmetology instructor. Married, a couple of children. That's me.
A couple of children.
Yeah.
I get it. The thing though, Thomas, for those who don't know, Thomas is actually my nephew, my sister's son. But you're more than that to me. I think that you are an inspiration to other people, and I watch you travel all over and teaching other people a different skill and a different craft. And so my subtopic for today is be a boss. Because, we have all different kinds of avenues that we can go into, and we don't have to stay in a rut or stay stuck. We got different things that we can do. And that's why I really love that chance and a choice, because every day we do. One thing that I thought about was we got a choice whether to respond or to react. Bad things can happen to us. We can be brought up in bad family, childhood traumas and stuff. And we can either react to those things and stay stuck, or either we can respond in a different light. So, I think
I agree with that. The first statement, especially where, every morning, that we're able to get up is a blessing within itself. And then, like you do, you can either respond or react. We can't control the things that happen to us, but what we can control is how we respond to the things that did happen. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because when it rains on the just and the unjust. So, like, we are all going to receive some type of bad news the same way we will all receive some type of good news, and it's just up to us on how we treat the good or bad news.
Ain't it funny though that you can have 10 good things going on and you have one bad thing happen and you tend to fall apart if you don't have a balance with this thing. That's why we have to be conscious and intentional on the choices that we make and the chances that we receive. We got to be intentional on how we're going to respond or react to those things. Yeah.
Totally, totally. I agree with that. I forget what the statistic is specifically, but the last time the what I can remember is like when something good happens, on average, people will tell three people. But when something bad happens, on average, they will tell like 11 people.
Yeah,
So what,
and you know what that does? That means
what?
that people don't understand that we are very, very gifted when it comes to how you speak. And so if you're constantly spewing out negativity, for those of us who have a spiritual background, then we reap what we sow. For those that don't, then the universe is going to spit you back whatever you were spewing out. So for the statistics to be that you tell more of the bad stuff than the good, that need to be reversed.
Yes.
If you want to go forward and if you want to succeed.
Right, right, right. Yeah, you got to let those bags go. Things that are holding you back, the trauma, the woe is me attitude, like that has to go. That has
Yeah.
to go. It makes your life harder, and it also makes you get wrinkles earlier than you should.
Make you get wrinkles.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So let me ask you something about in regards to your teaching and the Mr. State Board book. Can you kind of elaborate a little more about your book and what you do on a daily basis?
Definitely. So, okay, so I wrote this book that helps people pass their state board exams when it comes to barbering and cosmetology. I felt as though it was necessary because so many people uh, are going through barber school, going through cosmetology school, and they are trying their hardest. They're spending their well-earned money to go to school, and then after all of that, you have to take these tests, and people were failing. They were finding it difficult to pass. So I wrote a book that helps people with that. Most of the books that you receive while in school are around or close to 1,000 pages. And what I did was I made it simple and made it so that it's like around like 60 some odd pages.
Mm.
So that's what the book is. As far as like what my day is, like you said, when it comes to being a boss, being an entrepreneur, you typically don't have just your regular day. Like no day is a regular day. To try and make my day regular, I'll just say I ship out books every day. I teach students a variety of topics every day. Um, yeah, and that's about all I can tell you that happens every single day. But then how I do those things and the marketing side and the consultation sides and things of that nature and scheduling, yeah, there's no telling
No,
how often. Yeah, there's no telling how often that gets done.
but I will say this, as an entrepreneur, um, there's not a typical day, especially if you're trying to run multiple things. And I am a believer that you are supposed to have multiple streams of income.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I believe that's backed by the word. Well, I know it's backed by the word. But it also says to be a boss. I think that's the greatest thing ever. Because not only just for me to generate revenue, but also to be able to open up a field where I can invite others in. I can teach other people a skill. I can put other people in business so that they can be a boss too. And I think that a lot of times we meet people who have the skill and they have the know-how, but it's fear, and that comes in with the chance. You said a chance to every day. You got a chance to do something different. You got a chance to make better decisions. You got a chance to be a boss if you just step out. But a lot of times we are so engulfed in fear that we miss our exit or our entrance one. So how did you have any fear before you stepped out and was doing what you were doing, and how did you overcome that fear?
Well, one thing, to answer you, yes, I think that a little bit of fear is necessary for everything, or you just walk out very arrogantly. So like that's the first thing. But also people have to realize that you're taught fear. Like you're born not afraid of anything. And then the world and society tells you, what you can't do. If you think for anybody that's either had a child or currently have children, or even just, was babysitting before, you have to think about how many times did you tell a toddler or a kid no, or to stop, or don't do,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
So like being told no is something that you're learned. When you're a baby, or if you've seen a baby like sitting on a couch, like a baby will try to leap off of things that they're not supposed to, because there's no fear there. Like you're taught that. So to step out, like you have to unlearn certain things. You have to realize that, hey, bad things are going to happen. It's my job now to fix whatever the bad thing is. No matter
Mhm.
how great of a task, or no matter how great you are at things, very seldom does it go 100% according to the plan. You
Right.
know, so like you just have to do it and understand that everything will not go perfectly your way. um as far as, like what made me just step out was that it was just the opportunity of, um basically I was put in a situation to where it was like a fight or flight type scenario. I went to a seminar, I listened to it, and then I heard another speaker, and instantly I told myself that I know I can do better than what this person is doing. Like I don't have and that's really what it was. I said, I don't have the connects that this person has. I don't have the money that this person has. But sitting in this room, knowing how much everybody in this room paid to be here, I was like, I know that I can do this. Like I know that I can. And it was a lot of sleepless nights. It was a lot of like being in the shadows, so to speak, of, like just working hard with your head down until it's done. Um, and yeah, just making do with what you have. I think
Mhm.
that thing that a lot of entrepreneurs or those seeking entrepreneurship don't understand is how much work you really put in. Like when some people say that are working 9 to 5s and they're like, well, hey, I want to work for myself so I can come and go as I please. No, that is the biggest lie. Thing happens when you step out on your own.
Yeah.
Like, in all honesty, you work longer hours, you work harder, you have more responsibilities. It's
Yeah.
just you telling yourself what to do versus somebody else telling.
Else telling you what to do.
Yeah,
That
that,
is good. That is really a good one right there. We got a few people on, so I want to tell Tony and Henry and Perry and everybody who's on, good morning, good morning. Henry
more,
Taylor says that he is in that boat right now.
okay.
He's starting up his business and trying to make a better life for him, his children, and that sort of thing. So, what advice do you have for him today?
Um, okay, so you said you're trying to make a better life for him and his children.
That's
Um,
what he said.
so my is remember your why, right? WHY. Remember why you're doing what it is that you're doing. One exercise that I do with all of my incoming students, I have them fold a sheet of paper, and outside I have them write, "Why am I here?" And then on the inside of the sheet of paper, telling themselves their reason for starting school. And then we fold that up. Nobody gets to see it or anything. And when I see that either their attendance is dropping or that their performance is lacking, I just tell them to read their statement as a reason to remind themselves why you're starting. Also, honestly, create yourself a vision board.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, things that are outside of your household, you got to let them go for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And thing like the negative things, just the fact of, if you're really trying to start a new, I'll just say, like selling new products or creating a new platform for you and your family, um you now only have time for that project and your family. Like that's it until the thing is working and it's automated. um
Mm-hmm.
like that's all you have time for. And
It's something, I'm
mhm,
sorry, TJ.
no,
It's something that I say all the time. Make a huge sacrifice on the front end
mhm,
so that you can live better uh, for a longer time on the back end. People
right,
don't understand that and being an entrepreneur, we have to put in some hard time. We have to put in some elbow grease. But
yes,
anything worth having is worth working for and making sacrifices for.
yeah,
Because if you don't make a sacrifice in the endeavors that you're doing, one, I don't know if it's too easy. What do they say? If it's too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true.
yeah,
So you have to work hard. But again, what I said, my next one was you got a chance to win. You
mhm,
got a chance to win. Bet on yourself. Sometimes we're afraid to bet on ourselves. And all you got to do is, like Denzel Washington said, if you're going to fail or if you're going to fall forward.
fall
You know,
for
you're going to get some things wrong sometimes.
it. Mhm,
But so what? That's one of those building blocks. And we have to keep it moving.
yes,
So I wanted to also say today that when you said that you got every day you have a chance and a choice. The
mhm,
other thing is we got a chance to make better decisions, but you also, as long as you got breath in your body, you got a chance to right some wrongs.
mhm,
You got a chance to right some wrongs. You got a chance to do better. You got a chance to build your business. You got a chance to turn around relationships. Because you got breath in your body. Again, every day above ground, we got another opportunity to get some things right that we didn't have quite right on yesterday. So
yes,
I think that I would like for everybody in the chat to write a chance and a choice. That's what I got. I got a chance to do some things different, and I have a choice today. So we can choose abundant living, or we can choose to stay stuck. I mean, it's a personal thing.
mhm, yes. And that's the thing where you said you have a chance to win. Yeah, you have a chance to win if you choose to play, right?
Oh, oh, I like that. I'm gonna write that myself. You have a chance to win.
If play, and that's the chance and the choice. Just having that know-how that I am doing this for to make my tomorrows better, right? It's a short time sacrifice for a lifetime of paradise. And like that
Oh, I like that. Say that again. Say that again, nephew.
short time sacrifice for a lifetime of paradise.
Yeah, I like that. I
Yeah,
like that.
like you said, it's just one of those things, where it's gonna hurt for
Mhm.
a little bit. It's going to cause some clouds. You're going to get frustrated. Some people are going to ask like why they haven't seen you in a while. And then all of a sudden you pop up, and then there you go. I was listening to this podcast the other day, and they were asking, I think it was Gary V, I believe, and they were like, how do you become so successful? I never heard of you, then all of a sudden now I can't get you off of my screen. It's almost though you were like an overnight celebrity. And funds was, well, it's very easy to become an overnight celebrity. Actually, all you have to do is keep your head down, focus on your goals, work very hard every single day for 7 years, and then you'll wake up and the world will see you as an overnight celebrity.
Hey, I like that.
That's it. Mhm. Yeah, because just because the rest of the world doesn't see you doesn't mean that you aren't, higher than what you think. Like, I'll brag on myself for a minute. I was in somewhere in California, I forget where. And so I'm in California, and not California, I'm sorry, I'm in Las Vegas. And somebody came up to me and they asked me, they were like, hey, like, you should do this on social media, you should be doing that, I promise, it'll make your book sales go through the roof, blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh really? I'm shaking my head, yeah, and all of this. And then the person said, yeah, so like, how many of these have you sold? And I was like, I don't know, 15, 16,000. you know like you haven't heard me before doesn't mean that that I'm not
Right.
doing well. And it was one of those things to where a couple of the people that I was with, as the guy was just talking about not knowing who I am, the people that I was with was the owner of the hair show that I was at, and then like one of my assistants. So like they're chuckling under their breath because they're like, man, this guy, we've flown him to New York, we've flown him all over Florida, he does things in Georgia, just you don't know who he is.
Who he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, and that's, whoever that was that made the comment earlier about, they're in that boat now. Believe me, it's one of those like, do you want what did that pastor say? Do you want are you here for the mission, or are you here, basically they were saying like, are you here for the mission or are you there for the title? Right? Like, do you
Right, right, right.
or do you want to be productive? Like those are two different things, also, I mean, I don't want the title, right? Like, for those of you guys that follow music, the person that you see in the music video, that's not the most paid person that's on the song, right? It's the writer behind the scenes, it's the producers behind the scenes, the engineers behind the scenes. All of those people get paid before the rapper or the singer.
Right.
And
Right.
that's one of the things, you can't, I don't know a person out there now that can name me 10 music engineers, right? But they're on every radio station. Every time you turn your music on, there's 40 that made that happen. Yeah. And we only know one.
I tell you what, too, what you have to ask yourself is this: do you want to just be involved, or do you want to be committed? And here's the difference. When you cooking breakfast, uh the chicken is involved because he laid an egg. But the pig was committed because his life is gone. So, do you want to be involved, or do
Right.
you want to be
Right.
committed? You know, so you can get up and start doing all of these things because you want a title or you want to be recognized or whatever. But our thing here on the Talk Box is living an abundant life. So abundant living don't mean that you have to be out on the forefront or that you have to have a title. I like flying up under the radar.
Right.
Even at my church, sometimes, they like, oh, we as far as me preaching, I don't have to preach all the time. Because I don't have to be out there all the time. Even with the business, okay, my thing is to produce other people to live the life that I live, an abundant living, not just financially either. I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, because this thing is a balance thing.
Yes.
And in regards to people being a boss, you got to stay on task. I like the way you said why. The why. Why am I doing it? I'm doing it to better my life, to be a better example. I'm doing it to help my children, leave a legacy,
Mhm.
that sort of thing. Because a lot of us, we're starting the game late. But I
Yes.
want to tell everybody that it's never too late, because every day that you got breath in your body is another opportunity to get some things right. And I believe that. I was a late bloomer, but now I consider myself, let me toot my own horn. I'm an author, a motivational speaker,
Yes. Mhm.
entrepreneur. I have several businesses. I help other folk write books.
Mhm.
um
Mhm.
uh you know and get published and that sort of thing. I'm a teacher,
Mhm.
and I'm a leader, as well as a minister. But the truth of the matter is this, though: I have to keep pushing. It don't always go the way that I want it to go. I have to make, and I'll tell you something else: to be a boss and to take advantage of your choices and your chances, sometimes you got to make hard decisions. I tell people on the show too, TJ, you better assess your circle, because everybody
Mm.
in your circle is not in your corner. And
Nope.
sometimes you got to cut some folk off. Sometimes it could be family. Sometimes it can be friends, or even your enemies that's throwing you off. Cut them off and stop
Sometimes,
letting people
right?
time in your mind.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to cut certain parts of yourself off.
Oh, yeah. That's
You
a
know,
good
I mean, it's like if anybody on here has ever done any gardening or like just had flowers where you gotta, they call it pruning, where if you notice some of the leaves are starting to die off a little bit, you need to go ahead and cut those off because they're draining the water, they're draining the energy that could be going to the rest of the flower that is alive. And then also when you were talking about late bloomers, I wanted to throw this in there as well. So I was listening to this motivational speaker by the name of Zig Ziglar.
Mm.
And so what he was saying was he was addressing this audience, and there was this woman on there talking about how, she always wanted to be an attorney, but she feels as though that her time is up. Like she's went too far down the line. And
Mhm.
so Zig Ziglar asks her, well, how old are you? I want to say she's like 55 or something like that. And so he says, well, I don't see the problem. And she says, well, I never went to, or I never got my high school diploma. I have a GED. I never went to college, any of that stuff. So he asked her if she has done the math on it as far as how much time will it take. And she's like, okay, well, give me a year to get my diploma. Give me 4 years to get my undergrad. Give me another 3 years to go through my law school. And so he says, oh, okay, so like if you're 55 now, you'll be what, like 61? That would take you to be 61. And she's like, well, yeah. And he says, okay, well, do you think you'll be alive to be 61? And she says, well, I think so. He says, okay, you want to be a 61-year-old attorney, or do you want to be 61 wishing that you went to school 6 years ago? Right.
Oh, wow. Oh,
So
wow.
it's like, hey, everybody gets a chance to start, right? And it's your choice whether or not you study. Once again, every day you're giving a chance and a choice. It all comes back to it.
That is so, so good. We
Mhm.
have run out of time, TJ. I thank you for being on today. And
Thank-
I want to just remind everybody, you got a chance and a choice. You
Mhm.
have any, I think that was a final statement, though, right there. But do you have anything else you want to say to the people?
Well, I'll say it to you. This is amazing, and thank you for having me. And yeah, this audience is just gonna grow and grow and grow. I appreciate that you've actually, brought this up together. My aunt, as she said before, if you guys didn't catch it, this is my aunt, and she's amazing. And she's always just doing something positive, trying to just basically leave the world better than when you got here, right?
Yeah.
Like that's to me is what we as humans are put on this earth for, is to leave this place better than when we arrived. And I mean, I believe that you're doing just that, Aunt Sonia, and I appreciate you for having me on here.
Well, thank you for coming. I want to remind people, and normally I try to end on a good note, but I want to remind you the same way you got a chance to win, you also got a chance to lose. So make sure that you're making better decisions and that sort of thing. So again, we want to thank Thomas for coming and being my guest on today, Mr. State Board. Woo, woo, woo. Somebody give him a hand clap of praise. Woo! I want y'all to meet me here on tomorrow. We got Miss Ivy, I call her Licious, who will be on, and the topic tomorrow is down but not done. I don't know about you, but I've been through some things. So we want to remind you to come on tomorrow. We're here Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. So on Wednesday, we're going to have Your Mental Matters. We have a licensed Black female psychologist who's going to come on with us on Wednesday. And on Thursday, we have none other than Reverend Dr. James Turner, who is the pastor of New Hope Church, but he is also an advocate for the youth. And so he's going to be here on Thursday. And then you're going to have me and maybe a surprise guest on Freestyle Friday. So thank you guys so very much for coming on to the show on today. It has truly been a blessing and a remarkable experience to be with my nephew. I have so many talented and gifted nephews and nieces. I'm gonna try to get all of them to come on, you guys, because we are a blessed family who have a lot to offer. So thank you guys for coming on. Thank you, TJ, for coming on. Everybody have a blessed day, and remember, you have a chance and a choice. Be blessed.